Did you know that Shark Valley is home to some of the most diverse ecosystems in the Florida Everglades? Aaron and I embarked on an unforgettable week-long trip to Key West nestled in the beautiful Florida Keys. We stayed a few days in Key Largo, closer to the eastern end of the Keys. One destination we wanted to experience was the vast ecosystem of the Florida Everglades. If you're anywhere near Miami or the Florida Keys, make sure you fit this into your itinerary, as Shark Valley is a hidden gem within the Florida Everglades National Park. And the Florida Everglades is a World Heritage Site, a biosphere reserve, and a wetland of international significance. This is Daryl
And Aaron
on Travel with D&E. Join us as we explore a tram ride and observation tower deep in the Everglades, along with an airboat ride to see even more of the Everglades and its inhabitants. Plan a trip to Shark Valley, as the experience in the Florida Everglades National Park was exceptional.
After spending most of the week in Key West, we stayed a few nights in Key Largo to visit the Everglades and other attractions nearby. We drove the 1 hour and 40-minute trip north and west to the Shark Valley Tram, located in the Everglades National Park. Our first stop was the Shark Valley Tram, that's run by a private company, Shark Valley Tram Tours. The company is considered an authorized concessionaire of the National Park Service, allowing them to operate tours within the park boundaries. A park ranger rode with us and narrated the tour as we transited on the tram, turning our visit to the Everglades into a highly educational tour of the Everglades and the ecosystem.
What I'm holding in my hand is the biggest and heaviest thing in the Everglades. Not an alligator. This stuff is called periphyte. That's not the name of the algae, but it is peri meaning around, phyte meaning plant. It is a community of organisms. And as per biomass, I mean, this stuff is everywhere. It's floating everywhere. It's not alligator food.
The tram tour takes you into the Everglades on a 15-mile loop. On the way out, you follow a somewhat curvy asphalt trail. In the last third or so of the trail, water was actually coming over the trail, crossing the road, so we were driving through water. This entire area has a water depth no deeper than around 2 feet or so. Water constantly flows across the entire area, going east to west. Culverts were installed into the road to allow the water to flow. We saw various birds, alligators that was hard to see, a few baby alligators, again hard to see, various fish, and a red turtle crossing the road in front of us. The park ranger talked to us about the entire trip. He was extremely informative about the Florida Everglades ecosystem and about the animals we saw up close.
At the turnaround point stood the Shark Valley Observation Tower. We walked up on the 45-foot high observation tower to experience a 20-plus mile out panoramic view of the Everglades. There was an incredible pond down below along the sawgrass and small outcroppings of trees that looked like islands as far as your eye could see. The tram driver was also a naturalist and gave us great information on his experiences being out here in the Everglades. It was a lot of fun.
The return trip was along a straight concrete path leading to the start of the tour. A canal was on one side and an open sawgrass marsh on the other. We saw more alligators on both sides. One was kind of hard to see in this video here, and the other one you can see a lot better. We also saw a silhouette of a couple of huge snapping turtles and a soft shell turtle on the canal side. The Humboldt Oil Company built this straight road back in the early 1940s while prospecting for oil in this area.
Oh, look, it's a little baby.
That alligator that we saw earlier is likely mom.
We then made a short trip to the Everglades Safari Park for an airboat tour. We had a quick lunch, nothing special, just some hamburgers at a little diner there.
All right, we got 3 hamburgers and a chili dog.
We then loaded up on the airboat for our tour. We took a private tour on a smaller boat, which cost a little bit more, but it was well worth it. You've got to do an airboat ride. It was awesome.
The airboat ride was a ton of fun, and everybody really enjoyed it. You feel like you're gliding just above the surface of the water. We did also get to have a great experience with an adult alligator. He was actually quite inquisitive of us. At one point, the alligator made an agitated sound at Cameron as he got closer.
Yeah. Is he talking to you, Cam?
He is, just a little bit.
But all in all, it was a really enjoyable time on the airboat. Much more fun than we thought it would be. You got to make an airboat ride part of your bucket list. It's that much fun.
We headed back to the safari park, and once we got back, they had a short 15-minute exhibit showcasing alligators. There's also a crocodile there because there are crocodiles as well as alligators in the Everglades. It's the only place in the world with both. It was a lot of fun to watch her work with the alligators and the crocodile.
Nope, you're not gonna do it.
Oh.
Come on. That's my favorite alligator right here. I will show you guys with my fingers what that reflex looks like, okay? So notice his eyeballs. Watch them disappear, okay?
There was also kind of a nature walk that we went on. Didn't see a whole lot of alligators, but we did see a bunch of birds, lizards, things of that nature. But it was a nice little nature walk as well.
We were in the Everglades in early September, and we did see a few alligators, both adults and babies, along with other inhabitants of the Everglades. However, the best time to visit is during the dry season from November to April. This is a better time to visit due to the weather is much milder, it's not so hot, and has lower humidity. Alligators and other inhabitants are much more active and they are easier to spot, and of course, less mosquitoes.
Hey, we survived the Everglades.
Our day at the Florida Everglades was excellent and well worth the investment. The tram ride through the Everglades, seeing all the natural beauty and the alligators and the other inhabitants, along with the very informative park ranger and the tram operator, kept us interested throughout the ride. The observation tower was pretty cool as well, as you can see the Everglades for as far as you can see for 20 miles out. Then the incredible airboat ride, which is really the highlight, and absolutely a lot of fun and well worth the cost again to go on the airboat tour. It was definitely one of the highlights for our entire trip, and we highly recommend it.
Throughout our trip to Key West and the Florida Keys, we found ourselves immersed in a variety of activities, from exploring the unique cultures of the islands, along with adventuring at dry tortugas in the Florida Everglades. With its importance in nature and the people of Florida, the Everglades National Park stands out as a highlight of our travels. We encourage others to experience it as well. You just can't experience it without being there, so it's highly recommended.
As we wrap up our Key West and Florida Keys adventure, we invite you to follow our journey. We had the best time, and it's an unforgettable experience. For more travel insights, check out our mini videos covering destinations such as the Texas Hill
It's hard
Country,
to see, but we're up on the summit.
Looking about Texas, ain't nobody feeling no pain.
Las Vegas off the Strip, Arizona's Upper Antelope Canyon, New Orleans Steamboat and Natchez, and many more. If you've ever visited the Florida Everglades, we'd love to hear about your experiences as well. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and if you have any questions about any excursions on the trip, put them down there as well. Thanks for joining us, and we look forward to sharing more travel stories with you soon. Thanks for watching, and as always, we will see you in the next video.